when anger comes in, one of the things you need to note about anger and bitterness, they are one of the worst things you want to live in for the rest of your life. Because what anger normally brings, it comes with all the negative emotions. So you as a human being, you only have capacity to handle that beat for just a moment or just a season. Because if I can make you so angry to the extent that you're sick and you are getting to be hospitalized, you have given me so much power over your life.
How do I forgive an oppressor in order to have peace?
One of the things you learn about forgiveness is a choice. I choose to forgive you, Lynn, not because you are now right. I choose to forgive you because there's a kind of person I want Maryann to be. And I don't ever want you to take that from me. Healing is so deliberating. It's the sound of freedom. And one of the things I really love about healing is that healing ends up rubbing on other people. When I get better, I rub on other people. They eventually end up getting better. We also have to really, really beef up our self-care, so that we're also able to take care of other people. I can't allow myself to sink, because if I sink and you're sinking, who's pulling the other one up? There always must be someone who is stronger to pull the other up. And the stronger person sometimes has to make those decisions that, you know what, in this season, I am going to level up. There's a self-care I have to do for me, so that when Lynn really needs me, I can show up and not take your star.
How do I, as Lynn, know I'm wounded? Because sometimes maybe you don't know.
It's always important for you to have a place of accountability, because that's a place of grooming. So it's easier for you to see something that's in my eye that I can't see. So when I am with you, it's more of mirror on the wall, right? And that place of accountability, you'll find most of us really don't want it now. Especially with not just accountable to my peers, but I'm also working with someone intentionally.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi, and I'm so happy that we get to finally have this conversation, because we are going to learn and relearn. I know a lot of us are angry. Actually, when I speak to some of the people who are close to me, they don't even want a relationship with the police. You see the police and you want to smack someone. You are so angry at the governance of this country. You are so angry because of all the deaths we've witnessed. Some of us, when we go back to some of the things we've covered, the protests, the demos, you're just so angry. And there's a lot happening inside us that we do not know where to take it or where to dump it. I mean, what do we do with all this anger? What's next? And even if things do not change, do we continue harboring what we are harboring inside our hearts? I met our guest at an event. I won't disclose much, but she really did talk to people. And I was looking at her and I said, Maryann, you're exactly what we need on our episode, because we can't lie. We are feeling what we are feeling, and we are not going to be fake about it. But we need someone to walk us through. It's okay to feel how you are feeling, but what do you do with it? So welcome to today's conversation. And now, of course, without further ado, please allow me to let her introduce herself to you, the guys who are watching, so we can get right into this conversation. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Lynn. How are you?
I am actually feeling good.
Okay.
I think last week wasn't a good week. I think my heart was heavy.
Okay.
But now I can say I'm in a good place. I'm feeling a bit better.
Lovely.
Yes.
And I'm glad you know that about you.
Yeah.
Because that means a lot. Sometimes we go through things and we really can't articulate what you just said, that I'm not well, but I'm going to be well.
Yes. And I know a lot of people who are watching maybe have gone through the same emotions. And I just want to start by thanking you for coming. This was on a very short notice. And you said, Lynn, if that's what you need us to do, I'm going to be there. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I know you as Maryann, but maybe our audience has seen you for the very first time.
Absolutely.
So maybe looking at that camera, please introduce yourself and tell them what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lynn, for having me.
Yeah.
I don't take it for granted. I'm really, really honored. And like you said, purpose meets passion on this table, right?
Yes.
Yes, so my name is Maryann Atieno Ami. I am a counseling psychologist. I have been practicing for close to 8 years now, on the 9th year. I'm very passionate about healing. I think as a young girl growing up, there's so much that I saw, so much that I had, so much that came near me that really ended up equipping me to walk the journey of healing. I love seeing people get better. I love seeing people have to dream again, and that has made me really do what I do very passionately. I do mental health talks. I am a consulting counseling psychologist, so I end up having to train a lot of people. And in the past, of course, I have handled the NGOs, the banking sectors. I was in Citizen at some point, and so being here is actually an honor, and I am glad that today's conversation is going to help at least one person. That's the aim of this, that one person's life becomes different.
Let me ask. I know I said this, but you get this a lot from people about your voice. You get people telling you have an amazing voice, don't you?
Not really, not as much as...
Guys, tell her. We are going to tell you that here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
You
so
have
much.
such an incredible, beautiful, soothing voice, and that really drew me to you.
Thank you so
That
much.
drew me
That
to
means a lot.
Yeah.
I think when you say it, it sounds like she hears this a lot, but not as much as maybe you would think.
Okay.
So I'm grateful that you've said it. Thank you.
Good. I love that you've said you love walking people through the healing journey, and you've said maybe you've also gone through some stuff, maybe not to get into what you've gone through, but how does healing feel like?
Healing is so deliberating. It's the sound of freedom. It's the sound of knowing that my past doesn't have a hold over me anymore. The sound of being able to bloom. Afresh, being able to breathe fresh air after being caged in a long time. So healing gives you the opportunity to actually dream again. And one of the things I really love about healing is that healing ends up rubbing on other people. When I get better, I rub on other people. They eventually end up getting better.
Yeah.
My siblings, because all these things, they start from home. I can tell they're in a better space because I got better. My parents, So looking generally, healing is so breathtaking. There's how you can describe it. You can try to describe it in terms of senses, but you might not even get the right words to put it down. It's a new birth. Yes.
Sound of freedom.
Sound of freedom.
So where do you now draw the line between, because if something happened to me and I'm a victim, and there's nothing I can do about that. But there's also the part where I want to stay in this pain because I can justify this pain that I'm in. How do you navigate coming from this part where you are the victim to the healed version of yourself? And should someone rush you towards healing? Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do, I don't like to see myself as really a victim. The victim mentality cages you. So I like to see myself as someone who went through something.
Good.
Unfortunately, it came my way. I might have questions. I might have things that I'm not able to really respond to. But I was just caught in. It's like you're in a matatu, then you happen to have an accident. You are just in that matatu. So it's nothing that you could have done differently. And you see, guilt makes you also caged in such space. So I'm very deliberate to not see myself as a victim, but just see myself as someone who some things happened along the way I didn't have control over. And that helps you in healing. Do you rush the healing process? Absolutely not, because we're all doing life differently. We've all gone through things in a different way. What I went through might be sort of similar to what you went through, but what it took away from me might not be what it took away from you.
Wow.
The kind of support I might have had is not what you have. So for me to come and impose that there is, and that's why it's called a process, We have different kinds of fruits. We have macadamia. It takes different years to grow. We have mango. It takes different times to grow. And there are fruits nowadays that we buy that you'll find in an year and a half, you can actually get something out of it. And yet you have planted a tree that maybe needs to take longer. You just don't get to a place and you get very exhausted and think, I really maybe need to do away with this tree. So healing is like that. We are different, and as long as you're intentional to walk that journey, the process eventually will bear fruit.
So be intentional and deliberate.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into our conversation of the day.
Yes, please.
Maryann, we are angry. I know a higher percentage of people in this country are angry, and they are so angry at things that are justifiable. There are so many things that might not be working the way they hoped they would. There are so many people who are, they are regretting and they are walking in shame because they elected someone they should not have elected. And there are people who right now are so frustrated because I've gone to school, I knew I should have a job, or maybe I was expecting to be employed, but the reality, no one wants to hire me, or there are no opportunities for me right now. People are so angry at different things. And if it's not governance, maybe you're angry at yourself because you feel at this age, I should have achieved something and have not achieved. You're angry because you're discovering there were things that were done to you that should not have been done to you. Keyword, we are angry. As in, to make makasiriko ni mob from different places. First, is it okay for us to be angry? After we realize we are angry, what do we do with the anger? Because I really want to, just lay back and just let you walk us through this conversation. And if you can't deal with the anger, then is that going to be distracting to your life in some way?
So one, anger is a natural emotion, right? And sometimes it actually propels people to do the right things. But there's a quantity of it. When you get to a place where you are angry to the extent that your body is shutting, you're angry to the extent that you are breaking your relationships, you're angry to the extent that you're not productive, then now that means there's something you need to do different. Things have to change. At what point do I know that this anger is really beyond me, right? When I'm getting to a space where I maybe never had ulcers, but now I'm too angry that I'm consistently sick, You need to ask yourself, is it worth it? One of the things I love that you said is people are not just angry out of nowhere, they're angry because expectations were not met. Anytime you have expectations, Lynn, as a human being, you are setting up yourself for disappointment. Exactly. It's almost like without saying, it's going to come. There's failure going to come your way because what you are expecting, we just got in someone new and we have expectations, and we are not taking time to think, are they working out something? We have already made judgments, right? So that kind of expectations will end up bringing failure on our end. And we end up feeling like, no, we are not okay. I like the fact that you said we are not just angry at one particular thing. Yeah, people are not just angry at one particular thing. They're angry because some of these things are going back to the roots, things they are dealing with silently, they're not saying. So what we are saying could just be the tip of the iceberg. Normally when I do therapy, I tell people, yes, this is what brought you here, but there's something bigger than this. So we are dealing, like in this case, we would be bringing up the space of the demonstrations, but deep within, there's more than that. You talked about people being jobless. They were jobless before the Maandamanos. So when they're coming out, they feel like this is sort of something that will give us purpose. But by the time they're coming in, that anger is still not yet quenched, And when anger comes in, one of the things you need to note about anger and bitterness, they are one of the worst things you want to live in for the rest of your life, because now we are having very young people going to the hospitals, and you would find them with things like hypertension at your age, at 24, these things cause heart attack, they cause stroke. So yes, I'm really, really angry at this person, or I'm really angry at this particular person. But is it worth it taking my life? Is it really worth it that now I can't enjoy anything? Nothing tastes good. I don't know whether you've ever been so angry or bitter until you can feel the taste. there's a sourness that comes with it, that even if you're putting something down, it's still, there's just a feeling that doesn't go, right? Or your chest, there's something you are feeling, there's a kind of pain, because what anger normally brings, it comes with all the negative emotions. So you as a human being, you only have capacity to handle that beat for just a moment or just a season. Let me give an example. When we go through loss, you are angry. I've met people who came in for therapy years later after losing their parents, and one of them was so angry because they're wondering, I mean, why would my dad drink himself to death? You know? So yes, it is justified for you to feel like that. And you see, if I do not really say that that's okay, it's okay for you to be where you are, I'm also robbing you the opportunity to walk out of that thing freely. And getting to really seek, is my anger really stemming from this thing? Could it be that I also picked it from my parents? Because some of these things are way, way beyond us. When we meet, we all want to keep the hi, you're looking good, I'm looking good, the smile. But deep within, one person is struggling with a failed relationship, another one is struggling, they just got out of abuse that morning, you know, and they just got out of a relationship that someone is actually having an affair with someone else. But when they walk out, especially ladies, they're completely made up. So the makeup doesn't really make you see the black eye, but deep within, they are so wounded, right? So people are not just wounded by the season they're in. Sometimes it's way, way deeper, and it's important that we work on those things.
Good. I love that because you're saying it's very important for us to look deeper. How do I know I'm wounded? Because sometimes you do things and you're like, okay, why did I do that? I think that was a bit strong. I don't think that's me. So how do I, you know, as Lynn, know I'm wounded? Because sometimes maybe you don't know until you do something so bad that you're like, I really don't think that was me.
So one, it's always important for you to have a place of accountability, because that's a place of grooming. Like I love saying iron sharpens iron. So it's easier for you to see something that's in my eye that I can't see. So when I am with you, it's more of mirror on the wall, right? And that place of accountability, you'll find most of us really don't want it now. Especially with not just accountable to my peers, but I'm also working with someone intentionally. And Lynn, for sure, you didn't get here just today. It's been a process. It's been a journey. You've had people who had to call you out, right? So now we are having people who do not want to actually be called out. People who don't want to hear the other person, what they're saying. People who are always right. And you see, as much as, yes, I am a professional in this, in what I do, in counseling, you are a professional at what you do. So if I don't take time to listen to what Lynn is telling me in terms of, Maryann, this is how you actually get to people, then I come with, I know it all, I know people, I miss it, right? So how do I know that I am actually trading in a very not so secure space? By virtue of you having accountability, someone will always tell. Because you notice, sometimes when you are in a dark space, you don't even know how dark it is. Until someone else walks in the room and they're like, my goodness, how can you stay in this place? Like, put the curtains, open the windows. It would take someone. Because with time, you get used to it. You have had people who say, that's how I usually am, right? So they will tell you something nasty, but they walk out and just justify it. Anakuanga hivyo, you know? So that space where you also don't get to cling onto identifying yourself with very bad things, very bad characters, and you don't want anyone to ever stop you and challenge you that, no, that wasn't right to actually say, I feel like you should have done this, is a very, 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 very important space. The other thing you said was about how, sometimes I find myself doing something, then I come back to myself and it just hit me. This is what I do. The fact that it has hit you, the fact that you still have a conscience and you are self-aware is something you should never take for granted. Most of us don't even know, like they don't even know themselves. They would know other people, but they don't know themselves. So they can see the log in someone's, they can actually see the speck in someone's eyes, but they have a log, and they're comfortably walking around it. So self-awareness, because self-awareness will help you understand that when I'm too angry, I don't sleep. I'm shaking. You know, there's just something about my chest. My heart is beating so fast. So that thing, it helps me keep myself in check. Because someone will say something and somehow I'm shaking. So because I want to be safe and I don't want to keep throwing things here, I will know, no, that thing triggered me. So I'm able to lay back, I'm able to do, and before we end, we'll just be able to do a couple of exercises that you should do, because these moments will come. Today, we are talking about just the protest and all that. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about you have gone through a very big loss and you don't know how to handle it. And you're very angry. And in between this, people want to come. Maybe you are a young wife, people want to come and take away all your husband's property in front of your eyes. So this is bigger than now. It's me learning how to cope better. It's me learning how to live healthier life. That things will come and make me feel some type of way. But who is in control really? That's usually the main question you need to ask yourself. Because if I can make you so angry to the extent that you're sick and you are getting to be hospitalized, you have given me so much power over your life. So much power that no one deserves to have that kind of power. Honestly speaking, only God. Only God should have to push you in a certain direction that you can actually become something. You know, and when he does that, it's not in a bad way. It's not to actually bring you pain. So when I am the one who's consistently making you get unwell, you're in and out of hospital, you're constantly in medication, yet I am doing well. Yeah, I like you mentioned, when we met, I had said I went through so much in life, but that deliberate choice to just ensure, because one day it hit me, I might be unwell. I will start getting ulcers over here. And the person who's made me get ulcers will still be eating all the things I'm told not to eat.
Whoa, yes.
Yeah. So I am the slave.
Yeah.
They are walking in freedom and I am the slave. It actually doesn't even hit them. They did that to me. And sometimes you get people who would actually ask you, are you crazy? Did I do that? So it would make me feel worse, right? So I have to choose what I want. Let me give you an example. Yeah. If I knew that you don't like, maybe githeri, it's not your favorite food.
I actually don't like githeri.
You don't?
Yeah.
I love githeri.
Mine, it's because I think it was poverty food, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So you have it lunch,
really?
breakfast, lunch, dinner, lunch, dinner, continuous, mpaka inaanza kuganda, but you guys gotta wash it and still chemsha it.
Oh yeah,
you are right.
Hear you.
I do not like it.
So now I know you don't like githeri.
Yeah.
So the first time maybe we are meeting, you find that I made githeri and you tell me, Maryann, thank you so much, but I don't do so well with githeri. And I say, oh, I'm so sorry. So can I get you something else?
Wow.
And you say, don't worry, I can do water and all that. And we do that. Then the next time you come visit me, I've made githeri. What will that tell you about me?
You did not even hear me.
Exactly. And you have to be the one that chooses, I will not eat it. I can serve it to you, but you have to choose. Emotionally, the same thing. People will serve you things. You have the power to choose, what am I going to consume? If you know so well you don't like it, if I give it to you and you really take it and I feel like you enjoyed it, consistently, that's what I'm making for you. So you have to be the one that decides, this doesn't do well with me, and it doesn't matter even if Maryann likes it. For me, it just doesn't do well with me, and I am okay. I know where we came from. Like you said, for you have an attached feeling with it. You know, it still has a trauma. It's a trauma bond.
Letting go. Maryann, that one I'm not letting go of. That one I am naka strong. Hata siendi therapy because ya githeri naka strong vile iko. I'm not even working on it. I won't face it. And you
see that it's fun because clearly it's not, you have options, right? It's not like a do or die. So that space where you have to now choose intentionally, emotionally, when people serve you things, you can't keep partaking everything everyone is serving you.
I teach you how to treat me.
Yes.
I teach you what is actually, I'm the one in control of how you should treat me by what I'm allowing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But in places of power, where you have people in power, and you have other people who are collectively angry, and the people who they are angry at, you know, they should hold themselves accountable. I should be in places of power, you know, but because you're in places of power, you are laughing at these people's pain. You are laughing at what they are going through. How can we now collectively deal with this anger? Because man, una feel, anyway here, I don't have a gideri choice.
We're not being heard.
I'm not, that's it.
We're not being heard. One, when it comes to leadership, it's literally walking on eggshells, because you have been a leader, and sometimes when you feel you're doing something right, you find yourself, that wasn't it. So having walked in leadership spaces, for you to get 100% claps would maybe be you walking in 100% lies. Right.
Wow, yes.
So then that becomes a very tricky, and then right now where we are as a nation, it's also a very emotional subject. So where I come from, I am Luo by birth. I'm Kamba by marriage. So I remember one time when we were having the what is it called? The elections. And my mom sat on the couch waiting for the results. Now this was then, I think one of my first times to vote or something. Seated on the couch, I'm like, Mommy, what are you waiting for? She's like, I'm really waiting for Raila to win. And for a moment, I asked her, Mommy, what happens if he doesn't win? And her response actually told me that this was something bigger. So we had to sit down and have this conversation. I remember I had to tell her, but you know, that's not your father. Because you're going to be sick, you're going to die, you're going to leave us here without a mother because of politics, right? So when it comes to things like politics, it's like football. People can get so in tune with it. And you see, they are allowed. People, like I said, you choose what people want to serve you. But now things are happening, and you tend to peg where you are at with this particular kind of anger. What you need to do as a person, you need to make that choice that as much as, yes, you're in power, but there's a kind of power I am not going to give you. I'm not going to lack sleep because I feel like you didn't do something that I wanted you to do. You have to make the choice to free yourself. Because truth is, over the past, let me say an year or something, we've had a lot of people lose their lives. And some people, if you ask them if they saw that happen, they won't even really relate to that. And unfortunately, Lynn, in the next few months, we're also having to have a lot of people lose their lives. The thing here is, people got to a place where now it's not even going to the streets that's going to take them out. It's the things that they're battling with. You are so angry that you are shaking and you are alone in bed. Your body has capacity to only take a certain amount of that kind of anger. When you bottle things, and like I said, you see anger and bitterness, do you know they're actually compared to witchcraft? It's that bad, it's that intense. So when you are that angry and that bitter and you can't face this person, or you can't tell them whatever it is that they need to hear, you know, you now have to decide, how do I want to change things, right? Where do I want to be alive in the next coming election, if that's the only voice I have? Do I want to be at a place where I'm able to take care of my children, right? And live alone even with all these things. The other day we lost a woman, she's very famous on TikTok. And when she came out, when her death came out, now her 2 children are left without a mother, you could see how saddening it is. Sometimes it's you sitting down and looking at that impact, because it's all games until you're not here anymore to make that decision. So you would rather be alive, then you have a voice. But if you're taken out, we really don't know who Lynn would have ever been. You know, we don't know the leaps and bounds that would have been able to be given to you. So having to find a safe space, first people need to accept that they're angry. When people get to say that this thing triggered me in a particular way, sometimes it's not even being in the action, it's being able to see things Yeah, we are living in a day and era where the news is just a button.
Yes.
I just need to press and I'm going to see what is happening now here, you know. And like in the olden days when our parents grew up, us guys grew up in a plot where my mom had the red TV. So the Great Wall. The Great Wall.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, so with the Great Wall, I think we were the only one in that plot that had it. So our parents would leave, then all of us come and sit together and want to see maybe a movie.
Yeah.
And you see, you could contain a lot of information. I'm so sure there are things that used to be released when we are asleep. But now, even with children and YouTube, you're letting them watch something and they'll bump into something you didn't want them to watch. So then we have to be at a place where people are deliberate to also choose what kind of information do I really want. Are we able to take breaks? Because now there's also differentiating between when it becomes an addiction, right? That I can't stay without looking at it. I know it gives me very bad anxieties, but I still want to know what are people doing in Kawangware, who is in Karen today, right? So you have so much information, but is it really building you? It will always go back to choice. Do I have the power to choose differently? Absolutely. And have I decided to choose it? Now that's the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah. And maybe coming to terms, today is not the day we change the world.
Absolutely.
Accepting today is not the day everything changes.
Yeah. It's not black and white. Yeah. And it's not, I know some of us want to leave legacies, but what kind of legacy do you want to leave? You know?
Let me go deeper because I'm just using the protest. I know we have to unpack so many things because the protests are not the only reason we are angry. But I want to maybe use it for the purpose of the people who have been in these demos and they've seen a lot of things. I mean, when you hear Bonnie was shot, there are people who are right there, they witnessed. Someone like Muga was right there documenting that, he saw that, right? And then not only the people in the media spaces, you have now the people protesting, those who are, we are angry and we are demanding change, right? And then you have the people who get the call, your son is gone. No. Someone like Ojuang's parents, Bonnie's parents, they get that call. Or you have the parent being told your 12-year-old is no more. And then you have the classmates of this child that get to go for the burial. Yeah. How do we deal with all these people?
I think when it began, we could tell there was a sound of fun. Yeah, you could hear the excitement and all that. And within a snap, there was a sound. Like right now, even as we talk about it, if you're very intentional, you can hear it.
Yes, I can.
There's the cry of sadness. There's the pain. There's the tension. There's the will we get home? Because I remember I didn't go for the mandamano myself at first. One, I think because I'm really scared of crowds. That's not an excuse, though, but when I was younger, around high school, there was something happening at Uhuru Gardens.
Yes.
And I was just a young girl that went with part of my friends. And being robbed in the middle of the road is something I told myself, I don't think I'm ready. Like you and Githeri, now me and crowds. Yeah.
I get it.
You know, so, and as much as, yes, I'm home trying to follow these things, I had siblings. So I remember the anxiety to just call them, are you okay, are you well? And the truth is, sometimes when I look at those footages, it hits me that could have been a knock at our doorstep. The reality is so near. When it comes to now the aspect of loss, when it brings in loss, it changes everything, you know, because life, you can never equate life with whatever season, because I had people questioning themselves. I saw this, people would question themselves, then what is it exactly we were doing? Right? Like, wait, when we started, what is it we were doing? Was it the right thing? Did I miss something? And I'm so sure that people who to date, they haven't found those answers, because when it began, it was, let's go make this sound.
Yes.
By the time we're coming, they're not, the sound is very different. They're now cries, you know. And now this is not a cry of someone who went out to protest. This is a cry of a mother who has to come in. They have to pick their dead body. Some, beyond recognition, they have to believe that whatever the DNA has said is actually a truth. Some had to go and check in the morgues. I don't know how to say that, but one of the prayers I have really, and I'm still believing the Lord to help me, is that, Lynn, I never get to a place where I am told we have to check 1 million bodies to see ours, to identify ours. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And to know that parents have been going through this over and over again, there's no amount of standing somewhere and saying that, yes, it's okay, that will ever justify that. Someone lost a child, someone lost a father, you know, someone, and that shifted everything. Of course, with loss and grief comes its own baggage and its own faces. Yeah. Truth is, even the ones that are normally prepared, when it comes to, like, maybe someone is unwell and the doctors are telling you this person won't make it, when they go, the reality sinks in very differently. So you can imagine for this one, so one time he was just seated somewhere, the next time he's met his death. Yeah, we all will die someday, but this is how I'm sure you don't want to die. If you were given a preference, there are things you'll never choose. Yeah. So being in that space, then we really have to sit back and start having these conversations, heart-to-heart conversations. People who saw this, you know, I recently, like where I met you, we were with people who were talking about these things. Yeah. That I saw it. I saw this thing. Was I dreaming? So they want to snap out of it. Yeah. But it was so real, you know, it was so real to them. And the best we can do is just ensure that, one, we're very compassionate to understand that whatever they saw has shifted them in one way or another. Are we able to also lessen the noise on social media? Because sometimes social media gets noisy, the truth is. One of the things that I think really broke my heart with the 12-year-old, it was sad that it had to be her just sitting in the house watching TV. Because that means it could be anyone, you know. I didn't go for Mandamano, but now it's here at home. But there's a place where when someone starts shooting of children just crying, and I felt at some point, could you put it down and just hold them, right? Because we are slowly losing our humanity. I was in a space where someone said, in the middle of all these things, yes, we are capturing moments because we are here to work, and someone is busy telling people, you need to tap and give me likes. It's changing everything, because then that means, and we have seen it, people would die while others are documenting it. Like they would not feel like I needed to help. Yeah. I have capacity to help, but no, I need to have a story, right? So having to also lessen the noise for you would be very, very important. But that needs to, you acknowledge as a person that this thing shifted me. It took something away from me. I might not know what exactly. And that's where we also prioritize things like therapy. It's okay to know that how I'm coping isn't the best way, right? I'm trying, but I feel like I am caged somewhere. I need someone who's neutral. I need someone who will hear me without taking the side. You know, if you notice, I don't want to tell you it's wrong or right. Yes. I just want you to get out of it and get out well. Your wellness is what really, really matters. So pegging how angry I am, maybe in this season, if you notice, it keeps going higher and higher because we were angry this wasn't being done. Now people are not angry that is not being done. Now people are angry because lives have been touched. Yes. Then that means the intensity of the anger shifts. Right? And getting to know when do I calm myself down? Because if I keep going high, of course, I'm now on a negative. Yes. And if it's a negative, you know, it's either this or maybe let's give it a slide. Yeah. So however it's gonna go, it's going to go, it's a slide, it's a slope. There's no coming back. So I don't want to ever be at a place where I have zero control over my say, or things like that are taken away from me. So people will have to settle down and call themselves for honest meetings. Because I know so many people who are not admitting that they're not sleeping. Others were not even there capturing moments. It's because they saw those things. Others had to deal with the reality of going through that. The closest I came to when it comes to like the loss of someone during these protests was a friend of mine lost the dad. You remember the downtown building that was burnt?
Yes.
He was burnt to death. Oh. And when we went to bury him, you can imagine being in a funeral where you are not allowed to even view your beloved. And these things normally, because I'm a believer, these things normally bring me back to the space of trying to imagine how Egypt must have been that night when everyone had lost someone. You can imagine that I really want to be there for you, but this has also hit me. Right? So when now we have the opportunity that maybe, yes, it didn't hit me that hard, how can I be there for you? So we also have to really, really beef up our self-care so that we're also able to take care of other people. I can't allow myself to sink, because if I sink and you're sinking, who's pulling the other one up? There always must be someone who is stronger to pull the other up. And the stronger person sometimes has to make those decisions that, you know what, in this season, I am going to level up. Yeah, there's a self-care I have to do for me so that when Lynn really needs me, I can show up and not take your star. Right? Yeah, we're having, like you've said, we're having people who, especially with things like TikTok, people will show you things that you're like, where's the boundary? At what point do we say stop? Yeah, at what point do we say this is just for the family, right? At what point am I really safe to even break down without feeling like this is a footage of me that will be running all over? Because I tried thinking about those children. They were in the moment. Of course, they're grieving and all that, but they're going to grow. Do you think they want to see themselves really that broken in the next years to come? Yeah, changes everything. Yeah.
How do I say this? How do I forgive an oppressor in order to have peace within me? Because I'm just coming to terms with Nisawa, when you oppressor, then let me just, that's who you are. But I also need this peace of mind. So how do I forgive an oppressor, and how can I coexist with an oppressor just to make sure that I preserve my sanity? Na kuona, and you are my trigger. Because you are all over my face, you are my trigger. Actually, that's the question. How can I coexist with my trigger?
One of the things you learn about forgiveness is a choice.
Hey there, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode, and I just want to take a moment and talk to you about our sponsors of this conversation, that is Tap Tap Send. So in case you are watching this from diaspora and you want to send money to your loved ones back at home, consider using Tap Tap Send. It's very fast, reliable and effective, and they also have great rates for you. Remember, if you use my code Lynn, you'll be able to enjoy a discount on the figures appearing on your screen right now. Use them because your money will be sent back home to your people at the right time, and it will get there with no problems at all. But if you still want to invest in a piece of land, why don't you check out our other partners at Golden Dreams Land and Properties Limited? Remember, they have land across the country. In Matu, they have Baraka Gardens, which are incredible. We have been there. In Makutano, they have Success Gardens, and we also launched Ushindi Gardens the other day. Do check that out. In Masinga, they have the Joy Gardens, and of course in Malindi, they have Precious Gardens. Check them out, Golden Dreams Land and Properties Limited, and make sure that if you are looking into owning a piece of land, give them a chance and ask them about their flexible payment plan. Thank you so much. Let's go back to our conversation of the day.
I choose to forgive you, Lynn, not because you are now right. I choose to forgive you because there's a kind of person I want Maryann to be. And I don't ever want you to take that from me. When you spoke of that, I have a very detailed, example when I was growing up. So when I was growing up, someone very, very close to me, unfortunately, because I know Lynn has so many people, I can't really disclose, because I know there are people who, in my family, who will want to go after the person. So when I was very, very young, someone very close to me did something very nasty to me. They actually molested me. And this is a story I have said in maybe smaller circles, right? Not a big audience like this. And honestly, the hardest part was getting to come to terms with, I am seeing you every single day. And I can't really even talk about it. I can't even say that this happened, you know. And my baby brain tries to imagine, is it just me? Then there's the reality that no, that happened to me, you know. So one of the things that I ended up figuring out now as I was growing up, I had a tangible pain, a pain that I couldn't always say where or who has done what, but there was just something, right? So one of the things that has helped me in forgiveness is getting to understand that this thing that happened to me, I had no control over. And as much as that person also chose to do that, I am not the one to figure out why they would have done that, but I want to walk free. So it doesn't matter how hard it was, even if I need to crawl out of it, I had to. But life will always give you a choice. I don't want to ever imagine if I hadn't forgiven the kind of person that I would have been, because maybe I wouldn't have made it this far. Maybe I would have made very different choices and decisions. I would have been the type that maybe I threw myself out there, you know, in terms of messing myself, thinking I am trying to revenge. But who's getting the most hate? It's me. So when you forgive, you're not forgiving because this person deserves it. In fact, that's why we go wrong, because we tend to think I am forgiving you because you have come and you've said you're sorry. Greatest forgiveness is when you're able to let it go without the person ever coming near you to really say that, you know what, I feel I hurt you. And still, it is a choice. You will have to make that choice. You'll have to decide how much do you want to carry in terms of baggage? How light do you want to travel? Because you see, let me give an example now. I am 60 kgs. Yes. Assume if I was carrying 240 kgs, you all know I would have been in a bent state. Yes. Because that kind of weight, it's too heavy. My body can't handle it. It's 4 times me. So now that's in the physical. Try to imagine, emotionally, you're carrying tons. So people out here are walking out and we think they're straight, but truthfully, they aren't. That is why people are so easily triggered. And you see, what triggers you is the least. It's normally very little. It's not the big thing. It's not it. You know, what triggered me is something so shoddy that by the time I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, Maryann, you should have behaved better. And that's why I talked about the roots. Getting to always, there's what we call the root of anger and the root of bitterness. You can't just deal with it superficially.
You have to be honest with yourself.
Where is this coming from?
I love what you said. The trigger is just the least.
It's the least.
It's not the it.
It's not the it. We all want to act like, yes, but there's governance and all these things, and yes, we are going out to it. But deep within, people are dealing with worse things they don't want to handle. But if I tell you that this is what is causing me to be angry, I tend to blend. So are we really working on ourselves? In fact, my main cry for people would be, are you intentionally wanting well for yourself? Because I might want you to be well, Lynn. But if you don't want to, if you don't put the effort,
you're not gonna be
and
I echo that.
Because
also it's work.
Wanting
to be well, it's work.
It is.
You know? Because as I said, remaining in that victim state, I don't gotta do the work. I mean, I can wake up every day as the victim,
right?
And I do not have to put in the work.
And I am justified.
And I am justified. But now, putting in the work towards wellness, I think that's a lot of work that you have to be intentional and deliberate towards. But again, how do I deal with, I'm gonna use me and Muga, we are cool, we are good peeps,
You're
right?
buddies.
We are buddies. if I'm on this side and Muga is on that side, and for me, this guy is an oppressor, but Muga does not see it that way. Muga sees it maybe differently. How do I coexist with Muga while respecting his views and wanting him to also respect my views, but also us being able to coexist on other different things. Bila kumlabel, huyu ni mtu wa nani, me, I'm not going to vibe with this person anymore. How easy or hard is that?
There are two sides to the coin, always. The coin only has values when there are two sides. If the coin, you can imagine you go have that 10, I know we don't have the coin here, I wish we did. But you can imagine that 10 coin, right? If it only had the 10 side and it doesn't have this other side that has the other side of the value. Do you know if you take it to the shop, no one is buying it? Right? So no one is taking it because it has no value. So you and Muga are intentionally in this place because both of you give value. That is why Muga has a say and you have a say, right? And that is in case of now getting to understand boundaries, because we can't all think the same thing and be the same thing. In fact, if we all find ourselves in a space where we are all saying the same thing at the same time, we have literally become like puppets. There's something that is happening that is not right. So am I really well built to understand that you having a different opinion about that thing doesn't mean that you have a different opinion about me? So that calls for growth. That calls for people to want to understand that sometimes I don't have to win, Lynn. You can win and it's perfectly fine. Because you see now you're talking about you and Muga and you guys have worked for a while. Let's give an example between you and your sister. Because now when it reaches to blood, and you see people are making decisions with such things, there are people who are like, I won't call you because you just made a comment about this person and I felt it was very insensitive.
You're on the side of the oppressor.
In fact, it is Nyinyi what and your oppressors.
You're siding with the oppressor.
You know. But that's, you see, that's a one-sided view. There's that one, and once someone is stuck on seeing it from one angle, do you know how hard it is to convince them that there's another side?
Very hard.
For you, it's a 6. For me, it's a 9. Now let's argue. We will argue and fight. And before we can have Muga bring us to a place of, wait, Maryann, please move to the other side. It's a 6. Lynn, move, it's a 9. But we were fighting to die. You know, because there's something, I was doing a training in the morning. And I remember one of the things that I was mentioning to them is that, you see, sometimes we are caught up with how we want people to view us and how we want people to see us, that you really don't care whether you are wrong, right? You don't want to also admit that I could be really stuck. I'm rigid on this part. So there are other things that are working, but this part that is not working is what I'm stuck on. And as humans, we are excellent at all that. Lynn, you have been doing well, you know, for a while. Truth is, if people would want to pick a negative side and dwell on it,
they would.
And they would ensure that that's what people see and that's what you're known for. So you have to be the one that now also decides, you know, that what is it exactly that I am? Before you guys can label me, before we can say Lynn and name you, when you are seated by yourself, how do you describe yourself? Who am I? Because those are the bases. If you give me the opportunity to tell you who you are, I'll give you a very shallow side of who you are. Because what I'll be picking from your show. Why is that really, Lynn?
No, that's
right?
not the it.
So in fact, when you meet your fans and they're like, oh, Lynn, you know, I know you. You're like,
do you?
Do you really know me? You know? So that aspect of just genuinely getting to a space of understanding that it's not my way or the highway. Because today we are talking about it in terms of politics. Let's think about it now. You're a parent and your child really wants to do music. You can't tell them they have to be a doctor. Because yes, they're going to do that degree for 6 years, then bring it back to you and go pick up music, right? So the intentionality of getting to understand that sometimes it doesn't really have to be my way. It's for me to also understand and respect you. Boundaries are like fences. When you build your house and you decide you want 0 fence, There's nothing I can do about it.
Yes.
If you decide you want a live fence, there's nothing. It's not up to me. If you decide you want it walled, it's not up to me. If you want it walled and electricity put on top, it's still not my choice, right? So you as a person, you'll have to decide what fence works best for you.
Yes.
I will have to decide that. But because this relationship must work, there's so much more that we can talk about when we meet, other than this.
Other than this. But how do I deal with now shame? Because sometimes the oppressor is the oppressor because I put them there, right? I played a role and I put them there. And now I know my Angelo says, of course, when you know better, you do better. But I want to do better, but there's the shame, man. You know, because I know a lot of people, also what they're struggling with is knowing that this is a choice. I made this choice. How now do I deal with the shame of knowing I chose wrong?
Let me give you maybe a closer example.
Yeah.
Like when people transition to marriage.
Yes.
And truth is, you choose. You make that decision. There's no one who points you a gun on your head.
Good.
Especially, I want to talk about the people who walk down the aisle.
Yes.
And of course, there are witnesses and there are pastors, and there's a ceremony. That place of choice, and sometimes even the pastor will have to ask you, not even sometimes, the pastor will ask you, are you sure? Like after, is there anyone in the crowd? Are you sure, Lynn, you want to make this choice?
Yeah.
And you will say, yes, I do, right? So when you make a choice and you knew it would go some certain way, it's normally very important sometimes to call yourself for that meeting and just say, you know what? I made this choice, because you also must take responsibility. I feel like you said, most people don't want to really admit that they made that choice. And what shocks me sometimes is that if you had a good reason to make that choice, if now you're going to really change your mind completely about this, what does it say about you? There's what it says about them, but what does it really tell me about you?
Good.
Because in the next few years, I am expecting to always second guess what you're saying.
Yes.
You will tell me, I made this decision. I'm like, are you really sure? Even when for sure you can bet on everything with it. So now we're also having people who, with time, they're questioning everything. Even they're questioning themselves even in things that they're so good at. These things, like we said, it's just a tip of the iceberg. There's deeper, right? So how do I deal with the shame? One, you need to accept that you made that choice. Wherever space you made it at, you made that choice. That is the basis of it. Two, check. Why am I ashamed? Is it because I can't have this conversation loudly? I can tell people that I actually made that choice. Your only choice yangu. You know the way, if it was a win, you'd be like, yeah, I knew it.
You want to shine. You want to let people know I contributed to that win.
You know, it's like a bet.
Yeah.
When people bet and they lose, do they ever say they did bet?
I don't think so.
You don't want to be associated with failure, right? And when people win, you all will know. You all will know that I did put in a good bet, right? So the importance of you also learning that I did make a choice, and when I made that choice, this is where I was standing, is very, very important. And how things go. One thing we all deliberately must work on is expectations. Lynn, I can't expect that my child will turn a particular way. I can hope, but I don't have to have it written down and stipulated in a certain way. You've seen those movies where people wrote wills and they were like, they can only inherit this
once they do
this and this and this, and people end up having to live a fake life for them to do that, right? So the space of shame, of it being a negative emotion as well, you call yourself for those meetings, have genuine conversations with yourselves, and allow yourself to really understand that, you know what, I did what I thought was best then, right? No one should guilt trip me, not even me. I need to be at a space where I can also really take responsibility for my choices. Then, like you said, you know better. So from where you stand from, because you see these things are very personalized, right? You know better. So are you able to maybe make a different decision? But if in a space like marriage, when you choose and you have made that call and things have gone the way they have gone, you really have to also admit that there are consequences every choice has a consequence. So whether bad or good, it's still a consequence. Unfortunately, as human, we only want to deal with good. With good consequences. When it comes to bad, we are all looking out and pointing fingers, you know. So the space of growth to also let go. Yeah, because this is not the first decision you've made that maybe didn't turn out like that. But somehow you want to really hold on to it. In fact, you'll find after that, you've made decisions that were more closer to you. They are way closer home, right? To the extent maybe you were even conned by making a choice. But that doesn't hold because you can't relate. You know, and shame, what shame normally does is that shame is a silent killer. Because slowly it takes away things from you. It takes your capacity to believe in yourself. It takes your capacity to voice, you know, where you're at. It takes your capacity to just be in a space where you can think again. And those are the bigger things. So it's not about here and now, as much as, yes, this is what I'm dealing with. But I don't want to ever get to a place where I can second guess what I did. Or feel like, because time has passed. As much as, yes, it's done, right? And the more you keep dwelling on this, the more you're hurting. You're hurting as a person, you're hurting as a family, things are not moving the way they're supposed to. So moving on will still remain to also be a decision you have to make. So it's you checking, this is where I am. I feel I'm stuck here. I need to move. Yeah. So how I move is a journey. Could be different for all of us. But that deliberate decision, because there are also people who shame makes them feel some type of way. Have you found people who are now what we'll end up calling toxic? They associate negativity with a way of showing up for themselves. So if there's no trouble, they're going to look for trouble. So that is something you really need to check by yourself.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to let you use me as an example, maybe in the healing process. I know you talked about a couple of breathing exercises that can be part of the solution, but I met you in a very great setup, and shout out to Komu and the rest of the members of the For the State who are there sharing some of their experiences. But I know there are some who are watching and they will also be like, Maryann, it's my job. I have to do these things. I have to relive these memories. I have to feel mandamano. I gotta talk about it. We have activists who are also going to watch and they feel like, Lynn, I can't be quiet because if I'm quiet, then nothing changes. What do you have maybe to share briefly in regards to that?
Okay. So normally when you are very tensed or when you're going through very tense things, your muscles tense up. Your oxygen level also goes low, right? So there are basic things that we normally do, like breathing. So now that you are my example, you ensure that you are seated comfortably and your legs can touch the ground. So once you're able to feel the ground, you put your hands on your lap and then you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth.
Through the nose? In through the nose, out through the mouth.
So in normally, out would be something you rarely do. So, but now there's intentionality in it because we're all breathing. I mean, that's why you're alive. But the deep breathing means you're counting at the back of your head. So there's like now we'll do a set of 5s. Then you will hold. When you breathe in, you will hold for another set of 5s. Then slowly you'll release it through the mouth in a set of 5s. So can we do that?
Yes. So my legs are touching the ground.
You must
in
be
a
able
comfortable
to feel
position.
Absolutely.
And my hands are on my laps.
So now I'm going to cue you to breathe and I'll be counting for you.
Boy.
You're good?
So in 5.
In 5, hold 5, release 5. Okay. All
right.
So ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Take it in. 1, 2. I knew it wasn't last.
Wow.
Because
that's how much faith you
No. I have so much faith in you. When you did this, I was like, there's trouble. You need to be very comfortable and just allow. You don't have to.
No need to. Okay, good.
You can breathe in. You can actually close your eyes and just breathe in.
I think I'm gonna close my scholar, man. She laughs.
She's looking.
You see, she's always waiting for me to mess up. So, okay. All right. So
you're good?
Yes, I'm good.
So now that you're relaxed, I want you to just breathe. Just breathe in. Let's go. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it out.
Boy,
Now I needed you to let it out slowly. And this is it. You see, with the deep breathing, like you now note you had to be very intentional about what you're doing. You need water. Thank God it has some oxygen.
Yeah.
So the H2O is
I had to focus on
Yes, you had to focus on it.
Yes.
So when you do that, it calms you down.
I can try again?
You can, you
Okay,
can.
just-
So
okay.
you're ready?
Yes.
Take it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
That's better.
Yes.
That's better.
Did you feel? What did you feel?
Yes,
Tell me what you felt.
So first I have to concentrate on it because I'm like, Lynn, go on. When you are holding, of course, you want to release. But I felt like my, how do I call it? You know, it came with me up. And then when I was releasing, it went back.
The diaphragm.
Yes.
So the importance of you deep breathing is that you are able to send more oxygen.
Yeah.
When there's so much tension, it lessens the oxygen in your brain. So when you deep breathe, it's like you're now helping your brain to have maximum oxygen for you to think straight.
Yes.
There are places where, and I know because you have been shooting these things, there are places you'll find yourself, as much as yes, you're in the moment, you feel like, am I here or am I not here?
Yes.
It's for a moment, for a split second, you can almost see things that they're blurry.
Yes.
So the lens will always help you know that you are there and capturing, but you have to talk yourself to the reality that I'm here. So deep breathing normally helps you in times of panic, in times of tension, in times when you feel like you're losing control, you know. And these are things you do even to people who they've just seen something so horrifying and they are losing it. So you are their voice.
Yeah.
When I count, I am your voice to make you understand that you're here and now.
Yes.
Another thing we do is grounding. Yeah, grounding is primarily working on your senses. What am I seeing? So if I asked you, Lynn, what can you see? I need you to count 3 things that you can tell me. You need to name them. I can see this, I can see this. When I ask you, yes, what are you smelling? What are you hearing? Because when I do that, I activate you to know that you are still here. And that is the aim, right? So there's the place of also releasing muscles, muscle tension. Most of us are not exercising, Lynn. We are seated comfortably in our phones. These are our friends. When we finish, we put it down, we pick onto another friend, which is still a gadget. So even health-wise, in terms of exercise, we are not doing so well.
Yes.
That is why you'll find people, when your body just has a little bit of an attack or shock, your body doesn't have capacity to handle it. You also need to be in a place where if you can't run, at least jog. If you can't jog, at least walk. But you can't just sit and say, this body will move itself somehow, you know, it can't. One of the things you need to note about our limbs, if you don't use a limb, it shortens and slowly by slowly it dies. Today, if I decide I don't want this left hand, it will get to a place where it will be non-existent. And its form will also be very different. It won't be what it is today. So there's that. There's also you intentionally eating well. So why I tell people to do these things when they can is because someday it will rain. It doesn't have to be so close. But then, will your body be ready? When we go through things like loss, no one ever prepares you for a loss so dear, right?
Yes.
But when you go through it, it shakes everything within you. So if you are not taking care of your body before that, before a bad season, when the bad season comes, it's most likely going to really mess you up and take you out. So you eating well, you sleeping well, we have normalized not sleeping enough hours. We have built a community where people are on their phones till late in the night, you know, having to build communities and friends and people they don't know.
Yes.
Others would actually even leave their children to sleep alone while they are doing other things, you know, and trying to meet up with this community. So sleep is very, very important for you. Sleep, there's a study that was done over people who did not sleep. They were not allowed to sleep for 2 weeks. And by the end of those 2 weeks, they were literally cannibals. They were eating each other. Sleep helps you tone down some of this anger. You know why they're heightening? People are not sleeping. People are struggling with insomnia, and they are just self-medicating and treating over the counter. So you have to be in a place of admitting that, you know what, this is bigger than me. There's something wrong, right? These rashes that I have on my body, they're just not hormonal imbalance anymore. There's something that I'm dealing with, and I actually need someone who can help me walk this journey and make me a better person. So those are just a few things that you will do, but at all times, self-care should be top of your list. Yes, and self-care is very person-specific as well, because what I call self-care to me is not, and you see, self-care, it doesn't entail money always, because when we talk about things like self-care, someone has already thought, and I don't have the money. You have the time. Are you creating time for yourself to do those solo walks? You know, are you creating time to declutter your room? How clean is your space? Yes, you're living in a single house, but how neat is it for you? You know, are you able to just walk around, wake up one day and change the bedroom that side and bring the sitting room this other side, see how it looks? I mean, it's your house, it's your space, you're allowed to do that. Those are things that your brain pick as a love language. And if you don't do that for yourself and you're waiting for the government to come and arrange your house for you, then there's trouble. There's trouble.
Good.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't honestly want to let you go. So if there's anything specific you feel like, Lynn, I feel like we need to add on this, feel free.
I think we touched a lot in terms of what just being whole. But my desire for people is that they consistently must know that healed people heal others. And broken people break others. We are living in a society where so many other people are breaking each other, even in the workplace. There's something that happened when I didn't know about it until when I grew up. So I'm told of I won't disclose who, because they're very close to me as well. A family member who in 1992, they actually went to work and there was a scandal and someone threw them under the bus and they lost their job. And for them, they never had capacity to ever work a day in their life. So you can imagine 1992 to date, that is 30 years? Yes, 33 years down the line. So 33 years, they've just been trying to maneuver someone who was smart, someone who was fast growing in his career. Like when you look at him, the kind of man he is today and the kind of man, the people, his peers, you're like, my goodness, this is just untapped. But now also the age has come up. So we're living in a space where people don't really care whether they throw you down so that their light can shine. And that's normally a sign of people who are insecure with themselves. People projecting. Sometimes you will go to your comment section and Lynn, even when you invited me, part of the things I asked myself is that, when we go to the comment section and I was like, you know what? They are justified. They are allowed. It's not. We don't know each other like that. So getting to that space where people heal, you see that thing that happened to you when you were 5 years old. Find a space to work on it. Therapy. I'm so glad that now in Kenya we are having insurances pay for therapy. That's such a big plus. I know we are not yet where we want to be, but we are not, honestly, we are not where we were. We have moved miles and miles. So getting to that space where you can reach out for help and getting to admit that this life that I'm living, because we've had people who have now sorted other coping skills that are not healthy. And before they notice, they are slowly sinking. So if I have someone who's close to me that I know they're not doing well, am I able to just be that sane voice, right? So me getting myself healed, me wanting to be better, me not wanting to be bitter and angry over everything will ensure that the person next to me is a better person. You can imagine if if our nation is bitter. And you see, peace is very expensive. We've not touched a quarter of it. pieces are very expensive. We should ask. When I was in high school, I went to school with people who came from Rwanda and Burundi.
Yes.
And when they tell you their story, you just get to appreciate that how the cost of peace, you know. So let's deliberately work on ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's heal. Let me heal from those things that I feel like by the time we are coming to the election season, it might actually trigger me some type of way. Because if I don't, by the time we're getting there, I will become someone very... You can imagine, Lynn, if you find me in the streets and I have a knife, but you don't know me like that. But that season will bring out someone that I'm not, right? Yes. So healed people heal others. The other thing that we should always remember is that let's be kind. Let's be kind, because Lynn, clearly, even when we, you know, with social media, there's a lot of masking. There's a lot of putting faces.
Pretense.
People are doing, pretense. People are doing pseudonyms. So I am seated here as Maryann, but maybe if you ask me for my handle, I'll give you something else. And that normally breeds me not to be my real self. So I need to be kind, because sometimes I don't know what you're dealing with. We have people who are struggling with terminal illnesses. We have people who are struggling to put food on the table for their children, right? And they're doing everything. We have people who are just struggling in a marriage. You know, things are not working. What they thought this would be is not it. Someone is struggling with a sick parent. Another one in their family, they're the only ones who are considered to have made it.
Yes.
So they are sort of the family hero, but it's burdensome to them. Sometimes they really do enjoy handling those things, but it's taking everything from them, you know. So in that space where everyone is trying to figure it out one way or another, being kind will sort us out. Because when I'm kind to myself, if my cup has water, you can't tell me, Maryann, please give me coffee, and I give it to you. I can only give you water. So is my water clean, you know? And consistently working on that. Being kind to myself will always ensure that I'm also kind to those around me. But those are the basis of just doing life together. If we want to pull out, we also have to heal from those things, because sometimes you see someone saying something on the social media and you're like, was this necessary? You know, like you had nothing else to say. You know, the emotional intelligence as well, to learn when to say something,
and
to
when
whom
not to say.
Right, to whom, how, and why. You know, those are things you need to ask yourself. It's not everything that needs you to really
act
or comment or react. So if we got to a place where we are all working on ourselves, you see the generation we're calling Gen Alpha, we are their parents. So if we are not taking care of ourselves, when we go down, when you're that angry, you don't pour it to the government.
You pour it to them.
You pour it to that 5-year-old child who just wanted to hold your hand. But all of a sudden you don't want to be held, right? So of course now we are pouring rejection.
Yes.
We are pouring absenteeism to them because I'm not available, right? We are pouring a lot of burdens. I hear children screaming some things about the government. I'm like, we really don't know what we are doing to these children, because we soon will have a whole culture of people who really do not respect leadership. The unfortunate thing is that tomorrow, you're that leader. So if we have already cultured
sure
people,
I'm a good leader.
you better be.
Because I think one of the things we have
this
to
footage.
address also is to make sure that just because you're in a position of leadership does not make you immune. What's your role towards the generation that we are bringing up?
Absolutely.
Because if I'm at a position of leadership and all I do is inflict pain, then I also don't care about the Gen Alpha, because they'll grow up knowing you're a bad person. They'll grow up with their mind damaged. So we are just damaging people.
It's a cycle.
Right. Yes,
and it's a cycle. So we have to be very, very intentional to want to be better, to want to do better. And let's choose.
I think my take home is, am I bitter or am I becoming better and healed people? I know we always say hurt people, but we don't speak much of healed people.
Heal others.
But I know there are a lot of people who are watching right now and they maybe relate with you, you know, at a professional level, and they might want to get hold of you. Maybe would you tell us if that's something that you do, and how can can our audience be able to connect with you? I feel that's important for them, because after this show, I know someone will ask me, Lynn, how can I get hold of Maryann? So maybe the services that you give, this is not an ad, but it's just to make sure that they live here 360, even in terms of contacts. How can they be able to get hold of you?
Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you really want to get me, and you really want to get me quick, there's a number that I'm now using for just ensuring that I am out there. So it's 0737 976753. So you can WhatsApp me and just tell me you would need a session. What do? I do individual based counseling. I do group counseling. I do mental health talks for different organizations and corporates. If you are able to look, you are trying your best and you feel like you can find me, we have a hospital at City Health Hospital, Odeon building. So if you went in and you said you want to see Maryann, the psychologist, you'll want to book a session with me, that will still work, because I know a lot of people who pass through town, up to Odeon.
Upper Odeon City Health?
The name
is City Health?
City Health Hospital, just right at Odeon. The beauty about being, one, it's in CBD, so you'll find people, sometimes they're leaving work and they just feel like today's one of those days you can pass. You can pass by. If you're covered, we also take a lot of insurances, which is a plus. And even when you feel like I might not be insured, I'm going through this and I still need help, please reach out. Don't be silent. There's always something we can do. What I tell people, you see, when you share something, what you do to that thing is that it's like it was in a balloon, right? A balloon that has air. So when you share, it's like you prick it with a pin. So when you prick it with a pin, it might not, the air might not come out today immediately, like all of it. But after some time, we'll come and find that balloon deflated. So that's what you do. You feel lighter, find a space where we can handle these things. Of course, in the near future, we are planning better platforms to just be as reachable as possible. Let's also prioritize mental health. Let's talk about it without shame. Now, what you are doing gives us a plus, because when you talk about it and people, you might think of yourself not really as a leader, but you are a leader in this field. The young girls who got the opportunity to do what they're doing because Lynn went ahead, So that means there are things you might do that will end up really afflicting us or affecting us, either one way or another. So we are all leaders. You're a leader because you're a father. You're a leader because everyone is leading somewhere. You can't just say that I am not into this governance thing. You are a leader. So whatever it is that you feel like maybe this is not working, then how are you handling it as a person? So people who would like to follow me on Facebook, I'm Maryann Ami, Maryann with a Y, A-N-N-E. And then Ami, A-M-M-Y, right? That's on Facebook and still on Instagram. On TikTok, it's beautiful_feet. So beautiful feet, but there's beautiful _feet. So in any of the platforms, if you reach me, I would be able to respond to you.
Good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you. It's been amazing. I feel lighter.
Lovely.
Maybe it's because of my breathing exercise.
And you look awesome in bright colors, Lynn.
Maryann, I'm a black woman, proud of black outfits. Na ni venye hii kukauka. Na ni venye hii kukauka. Kesha, same guys, same outfits. Same time, guys. Mi wanibadilishi. Strong.
Operation Badilisha.
Black bila break. Black bila break.
Lynn, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you. I think one of the things I'm learning about life is just put yourself out there and put your best foot forward. You never know who's meeting you. If someone would have told me we'll be doing this here and now, it will be like a dream. And maybe I would be like, yes and amen. But seeing this come to fruition and seeing you notice me, because I remember you were very loud on communicating how you related to me in a group of people, and you pointed out, Maryann, I really liked the fact that you were able to bring us together, and you see that place where we are also able to admit that there are people who are winning it out here is very important. So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for this platform. I will never take it for granted. And I wish you well.
Thank you.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I feel it. I know it's coming from the bottom part of your heart. And once again, just because you are absolutely incredible. I think in that session when we were there, you know, a lot of journalists were there. All of us were saying, you know, this is the first time that we are debriefing about this, about how we are honestly feeling, and just seeing you and people who did not have to put it together. I mean, like someone like Komu, she didn't have to do what she did. People like Baraza Media, they didn't have to give us the space, you know. Just seeing the community that it took for us to have that moment, and I hope we get to see more of those. And if there's more, guys, I'll make sure I let you all know, especially members of the Fourth Estate, because I feel like that was the first time we were looking at each other and being like, can you see me peke? See me peke nasikia tu ma tear gas kwa akili. See me peke silali, see me peke nasikia nimekasirika. And just knowing you gave us your time, and you know what time we went home. Only you know what time people are saying bye to each other. So I really do appreciate
And shout out to my husband. He came to pick me guys after you guys brought me. And also something I want to give shout out to you. And I noticed there was a group of like senior in the field, and then there was us guys that are starting. When I say us guys, I mean them who are starting. And honestly, your presence, Lynn, and those, and I don't know whether I'm supposed to mention names,
Feel free.
But your presence of Akina Obra, you know, the presence of Akina Daniel shifted so many things in the atmosphere, because you came in to also cover the young people. You came in to actually tell them whatever you're struggling with is not just for the young person. I am this old, I have done this for this long, I have seen things I haven't seen for a while, but this is where I'm at. And by virtue of you being in that room, your presence was not only felt, but it was also heard. And that also created a space for them to have value. You to open up, you know, people who got to meet you for the first time, they could now say, I mean, I have met her in my life. And you coming in as you coming in with that, I am just part of this team. I am humble. You are very humble.
Oh man, I hope so. With my black outfit.
No black. You are very humble. You have a very sweet and calming presence. So that, and I would really encourage you to keep doing that, because I know people who ni kama walifika, so them they would never come down to that space and maybe just have that. So as long as you're able to do that to other people, your presence might be what they need to actually get out of those holes. And I'm grateful that you guys are doing it intentionally.
And I honestly appreciate everyone that was there. It was such a fulfilling place. Sometimes you think people need you, but you're the one who needed the space. I don't think they needed us or Akina Dan or Akina Obra. I feel like we needed each other in that space.
Absolutely.
So I hope we do more. And again, I know not many of them would be able to thank you even in camera, but I really do appreciate you coming and spending time and listening to all our crazy stories. And I really hope that's something that I know a lot of my colleagues who are going through it, because we've been there, we've seen these things for so many years, and sometimes it takes a toll on you, and you just having a community that you guys were able to come together and talk about these things, that really helps. Looking forward to partner with the team that put it together to see how we can be able to make sure this continuously happens. But hope this is not the last time we are seeing you on our platform. We have a rule here at LNN. We love people coming back.
Tell me more.
We love when our guests come back.
Really?
We build a community. Actually, if you watch our platform, you'll realize we have a lot of repeat guests, because we love building a community of people here who can talk to us about different things. So consider LNN home once in a while when you have something you feel like, Lynn, I feel like we want to talk about this at LNN. You know where to find us. And this is home for you, so that our audience get to see you again and again, and we get to learn from your knowledge. You know, you've really filled our cup today. And I hope we can ask ourselves some really important questions. Are we bitter? Are we getting better? Are we healing? And what are the roots? What do we really need to look at, you know? And how do we create space for each other while establishing those boundaries and also respecting one another in the process? Because 2027 is coming.
Absolutely.
And not all of us are going to be on the same side. And we have to be okay with knowing that we are not on the same side. But this is how I exist without infringing on your rights, as well.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so shukran sana.
Thank you. Thank
My
you
people,
so much.
me mukiwachi niko mayu. Okay?
Imagine anaenda tuache hapa.
Mimi mutaniona mayu, my people, because
do not be confused.
Don't be confused that niko hapa. So lakini hala at me, whatever we gotta inject, we will inject wherever we need to be. Me and Muga, we are packed, Muga, right? We are good to go. We have our gear ready to speak about whatever we gotta speak about, even when we are away. Yeah, thank you, Maryann, once again. And thank you guys
so much.
Yeah, thank you for watching. And if you want to connect with Maryann, guys, her handles are on the screen. There's that phone number that she has given us. It's also on the screen. I keep advocating for you to be better. And if being in a session is how you get yourself better, then if you feel like Maryann is your girl, and she's paid me nada to say this, but I really love, she has such beautiful energy. And if you feel like this is someone you would want to sit down with, for someone told me, Lynn, don't sit and down at the same time. But we got English A, guys. Tulipata A. But anyways, if you want to sit with Maryann, her contact details are on the screen. Follow her. Her social handles are also on the screen. And I'm really interested in your feedback on the comment section. It gives me great peace to know that we've had this conversation. And I hope it has been as fulfilling to you as it has been to me. Mi usema nikienda huko nje nipate kitu poa, mi nawaletea, we share together. I went out, and in that group of friends and us having that conversation, I knew I needed this. But because I know we've also showcased some of this work to you. I know as we get to experience it in the field, but I know you are the consumer. I also knew deep down you needed this. So I really hope that it has helped. Share your feedback with us on the comment section. I know Maryann was worried about the comment section, but she has not met LNN people. You guys proved to her that we are actually very, very responsible and very mature in the comment. Let them prove her wrong, you know. Just make sure she knows that we are very mature on the comment section. Yeah, and I hope, guys, honestly, this has been good and fulfilling, and it has actually watered you in the right way. Share your thoughts with me on the comment section. If there's a story you want to share, so you know what to do. info@lnn.digital. Yeah, but that's about it for today. Thank you so much. The team that gets to put this work together, it ain't easy, but they show up every single day to make sure that, guys, we continue having a very impactful platform. So shout out to the team at LNN. Shout out to our incredible partners at TapTap. In case you caught this in Maju kwenye mi nitakuwa, and you want to send money back home to your loved ones here in Kenya, you know, use TapTap. They're very fast, reliable, and they have bonuses also for you if you use my code that's on your screen. So use them to send money back home. But if you want to invest in a piece of land, so you know who we are talking about. Talk to our people at Golden Dreams Land and Properties Limited. They have different pieces of land for you everywhere across the country, from Malindi, Matu, Masinga to Makutano. We launched a very successful project with them the other day in Makutano. Do check it out, and all their contact details are on the screen for you. My name is Lynn. How about leo nasikia niko na furaha. Sijui kama ni nguo ama niko navaa colors kidogo kidogo. Kidogo sasa hivi utaniona nayo mwaka mzima. God, guys, I feel so happy today, and I hope you feel that energy as well. Yeah, so I catch you tomorrow 10 a.m. But msipotuona pia kwa platform, sana sana kuna mtu ametufanyia ile kitu. I'll let you know if somebody does anything. Tutakuwa tu kama you. All right. See you, Kenyan friends, in the park. Wow. I'm going to be there with my sister Lydia Tetolet for the 10th anniversary of Kenyan Friends in the Park. The details are on the screen, and I hope we really get to have an amazing time this weekend. Bye-bye.
Golden Dreams Land and Properties Limited, the leading real estate company in title deed issuance, welcomes you to Malindi Precious Gardens Phase 3, just 30 minutes from Marereni, and 50 by 100 plots are going for 199,000 shillings, and 100 by 100 plots are 350,000 shillings, and it's perfect for building cottages. We also have Matu Baraka Gardens Phase 3, just 5 minutes from Matu Town, touching Kivandini Masinga Bypass, offering 50 by 100 plots for 399,000 shillings. All plots are close to social amenities with 98% neighborhood development, and prices are inclusive of title deed. Book your site visit now by calling 0726 004455 or 0718 004455. Golden Dreams Land and Properties Limited. Title deed is our DNA.